everybody. Welcome to our webinar today. We'll go ahead and get started. Presentation is entitled From the PNID to PLC Wiring Addressing in 10 Minutes. My name is Sean O'Brien. I'll be serving as the host today. I have Ryan Bosniak with me. He'll be doing the actual presentation, and a third teammate, Malcolm Irwin, has joined us, and he will be online for questions at the end. We all work for a company called Aucotec. Aucotec is an engineering software company. We make software for a variety of industries, and we've been doing so for about 30 years. So we've been in business for a while. Just some general housekeeping items. Presentation today is going to last about 30 minutes or so. Not too long. We won't keep you. We know everyone's busy today. And we will welcome questions. Ask that you use the chat function in the webinar software. It should be on the right-hand side of your screen. So purpose of the webinar today, Aucotec has re-envisioned the engineering workflow along with the bigger picture of how engineering fits into an organization. And the goal will be to introduce a new way of thinking and a new approach to engineering. We're going to show you how to accelerate your design process using our proprietary software called Engineering Base. We're going to show it across different deliverables and different types of documentation. So what you see might not look totally familiar with you. Quick note on why have we taken this approach? Why is this important? Well, we all know that engineering is changing, engineering is evolving. Everyone on the line probably understands that. Engineers today are under a tremendous amount of pressure. They're under pressure to do more with less resources. They're under pressure to control costs. They're under pressure to be more cost competitive. And at the same time, they're being asked to maintain their quality of work, to reduce the number of errors that they're making, and to maintain consistency of their data and their engineering documentation. And we feel that's a very tall task, and we also feel that traditional methods don't really cut it anymore and don't really get the job done. So what you see here on the screen is just a basic representation of a workflow in what you would consider process engineering. I'll hand it off to Ryan now. He can explain a little bit more about this and how it relates to our presentation, and he'll take it from here. Go ahead, Ryan.
Thanks, Sean. I just want to talk a little bit about this workflow. We're going to be covering a number of things here. We're going to be creating a PNID. We're going to be creating field instrumentation, the junction boxes, the PLC. We're going to do I/O addressing, and we're going to do all the cabling. Finally, I'm going to produce all the deliverables for this entire project. So what I've got here is what we call the Engineering Base Object Explorer. And you can see right now that I've got different views available to me. I've got an equipment view, which shows my devices. I've got a functional view, which is a logical view of my plant. So that could include loops, it could include subplants and areas. I've also got a documents view, and I'm actually able to store external documents in here, reports, and my PNID. So I'm going to start with my PNID. I'll open it up. And I'm going to drop a couple of things on this PNID. We've got a number of assemblies here that I can drop. I'm just going to drop one here, put in a tank, bring over an exchanger, put another tank, put in some pumps, some valves, one more tank. I can easily connect these things, so I'm just going to connect them quickly here. And I've done my PNID. So while I was doing that, my objects started to populate within my field. I can see there's a number of them if I expand them. I can see that there's nozzles here. I can see there's process connections. And you'll see this start to fill out more and more. On my plant side, there's no functions yet, but we're going to work on that in a little bit here. So I'm going to open a worksheet, and these are all worksheets. You can create your own. They're completely customizable. These are some of these ones that we set up for the webinar. You can see that I've got my level switches here already. I want to run a macro on it to create my subunits within my plant. So I can do that here, creating a new function. We'll call it WS001. We'll set this as a plant function. There we go. I'll select it and hit OK. Go ahead and create it. We can see the functions are associated. I'll just close this down. And if I go in here, we can see the new function. But more importantly, I can see that the loops have been created. So where are we in this workflow? Well, we've done this, and we've done the logical constructs for these loops. There's really nothing in them yet. I still need to do a little bit more work. So I've got the loops here, and we can see that it's associated to the instruments, but that's it. So next, what I want to do is I want to run typical manager on my unit. Typical manager accelerates my design incredibly fast, and it's associated with the specifics of what you want to do. So what I want to do at this stage is I want to create my PLC and my junction boxes. So I'm going to select this typical, Siemens typical, and hit OK. I'm going to put it in a typical unit, which is field area 100. Hit OK. I'm going to apply that. Select OK. Now we've got a little bit more in our equipment folder here. We've got a cabinet. It's got a mounting plate, a backplane. It's got some terminal strips. Got a junction box with some cabling here. Okay. And I've got a marshalling cabinet. So for review, this is where we're at. We've created this, the junction box, the marshalling cabinet. We've also created the PLC controller, and I'll show you quickly where that is. We've created all the instruments, and we're finished the P&ID. So I'm going to close this P&ID. I'm not going to use it anymore for now. And I need to do some wiring. So this is a cable that I just created, and I wire it using the wiring manager. You can see the cable up here. I'm going to add my instruments to it. I select the wires and where I want to terminate it in my junction box and connect. So I'm done my wiring. I'm effectively done the most difficult part of the project. I'm going to apply and close that. We can see that our PLC was created, and with it, there's also a document for the PLC. That was also created. But now what I want to do is I want to create my loops. I'm going to select my loops. I'm going to run typical manager again. So I've got a number of loop typicals that I'm going to use. I've looked at a few of them previously. This one doesn't really fit because it's discrete, but this one looks like it's the one I want to use. So I'm going to select it, for this one. I'll do it for the next one as well. And the last one. So here we have our loop selected. Again, I'm going to apply my typical manager, or my typical through Advanced Typical Manager. And I'm going to generate my loops. I'll hit OK on that. And I can see my loops have been created. But further, they're associated with my loops in here. So let's open this up and take a look at them. So we can see that the template itself, the typical itself, resolves. And this is a lot different than templates you might have seen in the past. This is unique to this particular instrument, and all the components are unique. We can see that the wiring is done, terminations are done, but we haven't got the I/O finished. One other thing I don't like about this is I see the level switches showing the terminations wrong, so I want to quickly fix that. I could have set this up in my typical, but I didn't bother. Just wanted to show you guys how easy it is to change. I could also change the symbol on the fly. I'm not going to do that in this webinar, just so you get the idea. What I want to do right now is start landing my I/O in my cards. So I'm going to open my I/O card, and we'll just arrange these side by side so that you can see the addressing on your I/O card as well as the addressing on the I/O card in the loop. Let me use another macro here called the Merge Device Wizard. I'll load my I/O in and my cards. Select my card that I want, which is this card, -1A4. I'm going to select my I/O, and I'm going to select my address. I'm just going to merge that in. Just watch quickly, it updates. I'm going to do that for all three. And apply it, and OK. So my loops are effectively done. I've finished all of this within my project. My wiring is complete, my cabling is complete. And what I've got here, just so we can close this down, we can also look at the documents. So I've got the number of documents that I've created during this, but further I've got reports. And we've seen this in a lot of other products. We've set these up as templates before. But these reports, because it's data-centric, are constantly evolving. They're constantly changing as I enter information into the system. They're just different visualizations of my data. So here I've got a cable list. I've got a bill of materials. I've got a wire list. And I've got a sensor list. This last one is important because I want you to see that we can actually embed the reports within our drawing as well. So I could use this maybe as an installation detail or a hookup. I could use it as bill of materials for a P&ID, a line list, on and on and on. That pretty much covers my project. And I think I'm pretty close to the 10 minutes. So I'm going to push this over to Sean for any questions that you guys might have.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Ryan. That was great, and yeah, very close to the 10 minutes, just like advertised. Any questions? Like I said, please type into the chat function. We'll just do a quick recap while you're doing that. So what we've seen here: modern method, modern workflow, enabled by a modern tool, our engineering-based platform, and hopefully get you thinking about some different ways to do things, different ways to approach problems, and maybe some limitations of the way things are being done right now. And we do have our first question here. Ryan, while doing the loops, how do you assign wire numbers?
Let me take that on. It's Malcolm Owen here. We have several different ways to assign wire numbers. Some automatic routines to do that. The wire number can come from what we call an add-in, which can be configured to give you wire numbers in a particular format that you want. It's very user customizable. We can also add the signal information to the wires. So if you're looking at something like a loop from a PLC I/O point, you could have the wire number automatically bear the address of the PLC I/O point, and that's carried through all the wiring fully automatically. Several different ways to handle it, but all of them are automatic. It's not something that a designer should ever really have to worry about or think about. Wire numbering process is fully automatic, and it relieves the designer from having to worry about that. We can also take those wire numbers and automatically number the terminals with the same as the wire number, if that's something else that's fairly popular for people to do. Although the original terminal numbers might be used for the initial development, after the wire numbers are automatically added, you can automatically change all the terminals to bear the wire number. Again, all automatic processes.
Okay, great. Thank you, Malcolm. One more incoming in here. Most of our data is in AutoCAD format. How hard is it to use something like this?
We have what we call advanced CAD import. So the import of existing AutoCAD, DWG, any DWG DXF file can be brought into the system. It can be brought in as an AutoCAD file. You can also put the AutoCAD file in the database if you don't want to actually do anything with it in Engineering Base. And if you use the intelligent CAD import, blocks that are in the AutoCAD drawing become symbols or shapes in Engineering Base. We can map the shapes as well to existing shapes, and we can also extract the attribute information from the AutoCAD file from the blocks if they have attributes, and we can also map those attributes into attributes in Engineering Base. It's a highly automated process to do that. We have found it very important to be able to bring in other systems data, and both importing data and exporting data into other formats is all part of the system.
Okay, good. Thanks a lot, Malcolm. That is all the questions that have come through the chat. If there's anything after the fact, my email address is on the screen there. Don't hesitate to reach out if you want to learn more, have any additional questions, or if you just want to provide some feedback, ways that we can do things better, ways we can improve this presentation. We'd certainly like to hear that. So with that, I will let everyone go, get back to work, and we will end the presentation. Thank you.